Hello everyone! In this video we're going to draw a Stegosaurus. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the front part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. To the right, draw a bigger circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. This circle should be about 1.5 times the size of the first circle. The edges of the two circles should touch. The top edge of the second circle should be higher than the first circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. On the left side, draw a smaller circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle as well. The head circle should be small in relation to the body. Don't place the head circle too close to the first circle or the neck will be too short. On the left side of the head, draw a short curved line as a guide for the muzzle. This guide should be similar to an arc on its side. Under the first circle, draw a long angled line as a guide for the front leg. Bend the line near the middle to indicate a joint, and then again at the bottom for the foot. To the left, draw a shorter angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Under the circle on the right, draw a longer angled line as a guide for the hind leg. Bend this line a couple of times to indicate joints and again at the bottom for the foot. To the left, draw a shorter angled line as a guide for the other hind leg. The line on the left should be shorter because it's on the other side of the body. Connect the head to the body using sloping lines to create the guide for the neck. The neck should be narrow on the left side and wide on the right side. Connect the two body circles using curved lines to finish the guide for the torso. Starting on the top right side of the body, draw a long sloping line for the first part of the tail. Pay attention to the length of this line in relation to the body. Draw another curved line at the bottom to finish the guide for the tail. The left side of the tail should be wide and the right side narrow. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye on the top left side of the head. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Make the sides of the shape pointy for the corners of the eye. Inside the eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of the eye, draw another small circle and shade it in for the pupil. Draw a couple of curved lines around the eye for the eyelid and wrinkles. Keep these lines close to the shape of the eye. Draw a few more lines around the eye for the bony structure. Draw these lines farther away from the eye to emphasize the shape of the skull. Use the arc on the left as a guide to draw the muzzle. Follow the path of the guide but make the shape of the muzzle thinner. Near the middle of the guide, curve the line to the right to create the mouth. The right tip of the mouth should end at the edge of the head circle. Add a few lines on the tip of the muzzle to emphasize the beak-like structure. At the top, draw a small oval-like shape for the nostril. Draw a short line below the nostril. Follow the path of the initial arc as you draw the lower jaw. Add a few lines for wrinkles. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the head. Darken the top edges of the guides to create the top part of the head. Near the bottom edge of the head circle, draw a curved line for the lower jaw. Darken the bottom edges of the guides to finish the shape of the head. Use the second line from the left that's under the body as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. The shape of the leg should be wide. Curve the shape in the middle to indicate the joint. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. The top of the leg should be inside the body. Curve the lines to indicate the muscle structure. Make the bottom part of the foot flat. Draw a couple of short sloping lines near the left side of the foot to separate the toes. Draw a couple of short curved lines at the top to indicate the folds of skin. Use the line on the left as a guide to draw the other front leg the same way. Lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. The top of this leg will be hidden behind the body, so only draw the visible section. When you get the shape right, darken the lines. Draw the toes on the front part of the foot using short sloping lines. Use the long angled line on the far right side as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the hind leg wide and then gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. The top part of the hind leg will be inside the body. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Curve the leg around the guideline to indicate the joints. Draw a few lines around the joints for the creases on the skin. Draw a short line at the bottom to separate the toes. Make the bottom part of the foot flat. Pay attention to how wide the leg is at the top. Use the line on the left as a guide to draw the other hind leg the same way. Sketch lightly around the guide and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Draw some lines on the joint for the skin folds and a line at the bottom to separate the toes. High above the body, make a small mark to indicate the height of the first plate. Draw this mark above the hind leg. Connect the mark to the body using angled lines to finish the shape of the plate. The shape of the plate should be similar to a pentagon. Bend the sides of the shape so that the bottom is narrow. To the left, draw another plate the same way. First, make a small mark to indicate the height. Then connect the mark to the body using angled lines to finish the shape. Add another plate to the left the same way, but make it smaller. Make the plate smaller the farther to the left they are. The leftmost plate should be close to the head. Now draw more plates the same way on the right side. Make the plates smaller the farther to the right they are. Leave a space between each plate. Near the tip of the tail, draw two thin pointy shapes for the first set of spikes. The spikes on the tail are called the thagomizer. The spike on the right should be slightly smaller. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Don't overlap the legs that are on this side as you draw the underside of the body. Now draw the second set of plates to the left of the first set. Use the first plates as templates as you draw these plates. These plates will be behind the first set of plates, so only draw the visible sections. Draw these plates similar in size to the plates next to them. Draw around 17 plates in total. Near the tip of the tail, draw 2 more spikes to complete the thagomizer. Don't overlap the first set of spikes as you draw these spikes. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. No one is exactly sure what Stegosauruses look like, so you can shade your drawing however you'd like. For this version, just use a medium value across the entire body. Don't worry about shading too smoothly. The skin can have a rough texture. Use a darker value throughout the body to create some shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Use a darker value to shade the plates that are on the other side of the body. If you'd like, you can add a pattern to the plates using a darker value. Add a striped pattern on the body using a dark value too. You can add a different pattern if you'd like spots or patches, or just leave the body with a single tone. Draw a shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the Stegosaurus. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.